It was a time of optimism and post-war economic boom for many. Supermarket aisles were filled with consumer products. Advertising and glossy magazines told people what to buy and made them want to buy it. Movie stars filled the silver screen, giving rise to celebrity culture, and the youth fought for freedom. Out of this new popular culture, pop art was born. Its subjects were celebrities, comics, cans, condiments, and cuisine. Its style was flat, colourful, graphic, and commercial-like. Pop art was... Critics were sceptical. How could soup be art? But pop artists were referencing the world in which people actually lived. And as Andy Warhol put it, everything is art.
Hi boys and girls, it's me, Artie the Outrageous Art Robot, with your new art lesson. Today, we are learning all about one of my favorite kinds of art called pop art. Pop art stands for popular. Artists who were famous for pop art like to use things that were popular, like mass media symbols or things that you could find in everyday life. It was a reaction to the abstract expressionism period, and they used techniques that came from commercial art techniques. A really famous artist for pop art, his name was Andy Warhol, and he's one of my favorite artists. Andy Warhol used a lot of images in his artwork, and today you get to make a piece of artwork inspired by Andy Warhol. So our goal today is that you are going to be able to design your own pop art soup can using the elements of art, especially 3D forms. It says that Andy Warhol was born in 1928 in Pittsburgh, USA. He's one of the most important artists of pop art in America. He achieved fame like no other artist, and one of his famous quotes was that in the future, everyone will be world famous for 15 minutes. He told people that he ate soup every day for lunch, so soup was definitely popular for him. Now we want to think about what kind of soup would you be? If you could design your own soup can, what kind of soup or what flavor would you use? Here are some examples of other students, like this student was really creative and made up their own ice cream soup. Here's another one called Mommy Dragon Egg Drop Soup. And then we have cookies and cream ice cream soup. Oh, this is making me really hungry. And then we have another green ice cream soup. I've never seen green ice cream, but that sounds pretty yummy. And then, of course, my soup, my favorite kind of soup is cotton candy flavored soup. So, to start your very own soup can, we're going to have to learn how to take a flat piece of paper and make a 3D shape called a cylinder. So, the first thing we need to do to start our very own pop art soup can is a white piece of paper and a pencil. I like to lay down newspaper as my placemat so I don't get pencil or Sharpie on the table. Once you have your white piece of paper, the first thing we do is always the same. We pick up our pencil and write our name and code on the back. Once you do that, you're going to turn your paper over. And to draw a cylinder, what we're going to need to do is start with some basic shapes. A cylinder is a three-dimensional figure that's shaped like a tube. The ends are parallel planes. So there's other 3D shapes like cones and spheres, rectangular pyramids and cubes, but we want to practice drawing the cylinder. So we want to always draw big, put on a wig, just like Andy Warhol. He always wore a big, crazy white wig. And we want our soup can to be really nice and tall. So we want to start near the top of the page, and we're going to draw an oval shape for the top. That is step one. So we're going to draw an oval shape over, and then it's going to curve down. There's my first oval shape. Once we've drawn that first oval, the top of the soup can has another oval inside of it, maybe even one more oval. So we've drawn 1, 2, 3 ovals. And I say draw light until you get it right. Now the sides of the can are going to be 2 vertical lines, and we want them to be straight. So I'm using a ruler, and I know with my cotton candy soup, I actually measured 7 inches. But you can make it as long as 9 inches. So once you have a nice straight line, this one's going to be 9 inches, and the sides are parallel. So that means they will never meet. We want to keep them straight and parallel. So there's 9 inches on both sides, and then I want to draw a curved arc, or a curved line that connects the two. Now, once I've drawn that, then I'm going to add another arc for the label. All soup cans have a label. So here's my label. I'm going to draw another arc for the label. Now, inside of the soup can, I'm going to measure about halfway. So this is about 7 inches. Half of 7 is like 3.5. Halfway in the middle of the soup can, I'm going to draw another arc because there are 2 stripes on the label. Now, in the middle of the two stripes, I'm going to draw a circle, and that circle is going to be the shape of my soup. Now, that's just the basic steps of your soup can. The next thing we need to do is think about what kind of creative design. I already did cotton candy soup, so this time I think I'm going to do something I really like that I got interested in. Can you guess what it is? What does that remind you of? A Pokeball! I'm going to do Pokemon soup. So, the middle of my soup can is going to be, of course, a Pokeball. And then I'm going to call this one Pokemon soup. So the name of your soup, if you know how to write in cursive, you can write the name really lightly in cursive. So I have Pokemon condensed soup. Once I've drawn that, down at the bottom, I want to write something else. Like with this one, I wrote Wardley cotton candy soup. I drew a paint palette. Since this is Pokemon soup, I might want to make this a certain flavor of soup, like maybe Pikachu flavored soup or Jigglypuff flavored soup. Okay, so now once I've drawn all my designs with pencil, now I'm ready to get a Sharpie and trace over my lines with Sharpie. Tracing all my lines with Sharpie, I'm ready to add the next element of art, which is color. Now, even though my cotton candy soup has pink in it, usually the pop artists like to use the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. So with my soup can, I'm going to try to use mostly primary colors with this one too, especially because Pikachu is a primary color. So I'm going to use something called Watercolor Pencils, because I can use some color pencil techniques that make the soup can look more realistic. So I can create value by blending colors, shading, and doing cross-hatching. So we want to be creative, neat, colorful, and complete, and do a really good job adding color to our soup can.